Hello. Today we're going to be talking about the basic data types in C++. There are three main data types in C++: primitive data types, derived data types, and abstract or user-defined data types. Primitive data types are built in and are used to declare variables. These include things such as integers, characters, Booleans, floating points, doubles, and more. Next, derived data types are derived from built-in data types, and these include structures such as arrays and vectors. Finally, user-defined data types include classes, strings, unions, and even more. Today, we'll look at 6 basic data types, which are integers, floating points, doubles, Booleans, characters, and strings. Furthermore, we'll also discuss what the word void means. First, integers can store numbers from this number to this number. We type the keyword int and declare and initialize the variable. Here you can see that we have the keyword int, then the variable name, which I named a, and then I put that equal to another number, 42. This means that the integer variable a is now equal to 42. We could change that by either changing this number or later putting a equal to another number again. If we wanted to print this number, we would do a simple cout and then a, and then end that line with a semicolon, and we would get that a is equal to 32. Next, we have doubles and floating points. Both these data types store decimal points. However, the difference is that doubles can store even more precise decimal points. For example, here I've declared and initialized the float and the double. Those are the keywords, float and double. And I have the float named b, the variable is named b, initialized at the value 20.35. The double c is initialized at the value 20.5835. If I wanted to output these numbers, I would say cout b, and then I'm going to add a new character, which is inside quotations and is /n. What this does is it prints b, then it goes to the next line for any future printing. So I have ending with a semicolon, and then count c, and then that same new line character. Once I print this, I will get 20.35 and 20.5835. Next, we have Booleans. Booleans are two values. They have two values, both true and false. This data type is often used in operations where something happens if the Boolean value is either true or either false. Here, I have two Boolean values, and the keyword is the word bool. I've declared it, bool d equals true and bool e equals false, two separate variables. Now, if I did this if statement, if d, it would count this. What this is basically saying is that if d is true, then it will output that quotation, that string. This next if statement is if e is false, that exclamation point means e is false, then it would output d is false. Next, we have characters. Characters are used to store single characters inside single quotes. These can include letters, numbers, and other symbols as well. For example, we have with the keyword char, the two variables f and g. F is declared and has been initialized to the number 5. The variable g has been initialized to the letter z. If I output these two variables, I will get 5 and z down there. Finally, we have strings. Strings are not a primitive data type like the others we just covered, but rather from a class. In our current code, we have the include bit statement, which already has the string package inside it, so we don't need to import it again. However, just to show you how to do it, I have the include string statement here, which will allow us to work with strings in our current code. Now I will declare and initialize a string z equals hello world. This string is currently set to the hello world, and if I outputted this variable, I would get hello world. Finally, we have void. Void obviously means valueless and is used for a function that doesn't return any value. For example, in this int main function, we could say int main void just to make it clearer that this main function doesn't return anything. We would have a return 0 statement at the end and in place of a void, and this also just checks that the int main function is working properly and doesn't return any value in and of itself. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you learned more about the basic data types of C++.